gigantic weaknesses that are very glaring for his play. He's mechanically good. Question is, does he play a diverse field of champions? Can he play those champions? Because his team is definitely propping him up a little bit with their leashes and the champions that they're selecting for him in the matchups.
Absolutely. Well, Kennan's still banned by Phoenix1. Still the red side Zach ban. This time around, Echo Fox not. I wanted to give Ryu the chance to play Galio. I do want to give them credit for their draft, by the way, because coming into this match, the only player who had played Galio on Phoenix1 was Zig. And when they grabbed it as the early flex pick, Echo Fox still went for top lane bans, knowing that it was likely to be flexed somewhere else. Just wanted to commend them for that idea. And Echo Fox, of course, is right about it, as they did flex that Galio into the mid lane. It's been more popular there on pro play this patch. LeBlanc this time removed by Frog, and even though they did beat the champion, Phoenix1 had to spare a ban. They went for it. Caitlyn off the table. Doesn't mean that's not an option for Arrow here, but of course, his Jhin looked so good. They're just going to first pick it.
Yeah, the Jhin, the Caitlyn being banned away makes a ton of sense to pick up for him. And it didn't look like Echo Fox really had too much to deal with that. We'll see if they get something that can reach that back line, because Arrow went deathless in that game with 100% kill participation, and he was also QSS flashing a lot of the engages from Gate on Rakan. And that's a two-part CC chain where you get the charm and then the knockup, but Arrow was fast enough to QSS it. He was ready for it every single time.
Rakan grabbed early here for Gate. Lee Sin still high priority. Like, still given the option to play Nidalee for himself. Another high priority champion such as Elise is allowed, but if he wants to go for comfort, he still can right now.
Yeah, I feel like the Nidalee would come through again, because up against Lee Sin, you can power farm and just be 2 levels up on him. And it'd be very easy. I wish 2 levels up was an exaggeration, but sometimes it is not in this matchup.
But it's really worth pointing out, there are not many teams in the world who would pick Nidalee over Elise in this scenario.
Yes.
Maybe exactly one. Phoenix1.
So dramatic.
Oh my gosh.
Only one, Mike Young.
You know why Arrow's doing so well, by the way. You see what's in his hands right there. That is a device of victory here, and the Braum we picked up again. So Phoenix1 keeping the exact same comp so far, only exception being they have no chance to play Galio. So we'll see if they find another mix that's going to work for them here. Echo Fox hoping to round out their lineup the end of the first phase, and we'll see which of the various lanes it's going to go into.
They pick a Froggen champion and then ban the counters. Yep. All right, the Caston was something that got banned away last game by Echo Fox in their first phase, because they said, all right, you might pick it on red side, but now they pick their mid laner, they may throw up another Cassidon ban here up against Ryu, maybe fearing that champion.
Echo Fox up first for the bans. Let's see what they want to get rid of. Will it be Frog encounters, or will it be some more of these Zig special top laners? Cinder the first one up. And we're going to see if the Cassidon ends up being the second here for himself. There's kind of time to go. This is the slower part of the champion select phase, with the second ban phase.
There's a lot to consider, because you could say, all right, let's ban out Fiora, maybe some top lane tanks like Shen, maybe we'll go for AD carry like Varus, Twitch, Xayah. There's a lot of things you can go for here, because they've shown, hey, we want to ban Twitch Varus last game, but there are considerations of Shen was kind of annoying at some points.
What's really interesting to me is that both Twitch and Xayah, I feel like, get soft countered by Braum a little bit, because they both have pretty significant pass-through mechanics that he stuffs, but still not willing to give the champions away to Echo Fox's bot laner and Keith. Lucian going to be the secondary ban here. Of course, that would be Ryu aimed. Ryu has put 3 games on Lucian so far. That was actually Froggen stats. Ryu's only played 1 game on Lucian so far this split, but we know it's a common and popular mid laner to play, and especially with an ability power-focused jungler like this Nidalee, that champion's available. The question now is, what will Keith play? And likely they're going to wait for their top lane to counter pick. Shout out to Zig playing Urgot last week.
Yep.
Tristana. Ooh, I like this champion a lot. I think she's super powerful. In the hands of a good player, you can do some great things, and has amazing synergy with the Rakan as well. Of course, you could rocket ship into giving the shield and making the ultimate land immediately, and could be fun to watch for. But Keith is certainly going to be able to do a lot of damage from the backline here on this champion.
Yeah, self-peel as well, and has multiple ways to get people away from him and create distance. So I like this pick here for Keith, and also the fact that it will shove in very early on in this matchup, because you have a Braum plus a Jhin. You have wave clear advantage. You can deal a lot of damage to that turret. And we'll see how hard it ends up being to lock Keith down, because last game it was supposedly supposed to be as well, because of the fact he had the Xayah, but now he has the Tristana, which can create that distance.
Mid lane pick going to be Cassiopeia for the mid lane, so one of the 2 Cass is coming through. Full lineup is in for Phoenix1, and it's going to be a tank and a bruiser for the front line, and a Rumble to come alongside that one. Rumble did get some fairly major changes in 7.12. Essentially, he pushes way less well, and the shield's got a shorter duration. Otherwise, there's very similar things overall as a champion. As Echofox are done with their lineup. 2 magic damage dealers, 2 physical damage dealers, and very scarce tank stats on the team. It's pretty hard to make Rakan super tanky, but if the engage is there, the follow-through certainly is.
Just taking a moment to look at these really quickly. Yeah, they have a decent amount of engage on the side of Phoenix1 and Echofox. It's not really anything crazy, right? It's not like these teams are really built for anything except for team fighting. Might be a little split push for Phoenix1, but otherwise these teams kind of want to bash their heads against each other. Yeah. Not seeing a 1-3-1 here from either side.
I don't see much of a 1-3-1 either. Maybe a 1-4 thanks to the Renekton. I feel like you should be able to win the 1v1 against Rumble at some point. The one thing that concerns me from Echofox is no true tank against a conventional team fight team, though. Who's going to survive 2 Jhin crits? Who's going to zone back a Cassiopeia who's ready to go for full damage? Ryu can certainly put out great team fight damage here in this one. It's going to be, in my mind, a tough one for Echofox to navigate, but we'll see if they can do it. Phoenix1 with the new lineup have tested some first place teams and now have a 1-0 lead over Echofox.
Yeah, you always do have to be a little careful though if you are a Cassiopeia or Jhin, 2 low mobility carries against a Rumble who can just throw that equalizer onto the back line and make those team fights pretty much an instant win.
We'll see if they can have it happen. Here we go in a game 2. Echofox taking on Phoenix1. We switched sides and here we go. Let's see if Phoenix1 can close it out and find that first match win, or if Echofox can hope to sweep back and make that playoff run they've hoped to do all these years.
Yeah, almost going on 2 years now and missing out on playoffs. Echofox fans are getting anxious. They want to see that team up there. Whereas Phoenix1 just coming off of 3rd place in the playoffs and going to Rift Rivals. Oh, people are saying, all right, let's see them get back.
Exactly. Can they get back to that form? Gate once again going for the tankier of the Keystone options on the Rakan. Also, once again, going for the Ancient Coin line for the free skill point. Usually comes online for a rank 2 ultimate by level 10. Rakan's ult rank, not the most important, but...
it does increase the CC duration.
Oh, it does? Okay. You lose it because of the knock-up anyway, though.
Yeah.
You often don't get actually much out of it. You get a lower cooldown, which is nice,
Exactly. It sometimes allows you to kind of get it off exactly, because it's 1.25, 1.5 in terms of the seconds that you're CC'd. So if somebody does have Merc Treads, the cast time of your W will be just enough to make sure it's unavoidable without a QSS. But otherwise, yeah, it's not that impactful.
All right, we'll wait to see what comes through into this one.
A lot of traps set up, and they're going to unleash them again.
Yeah, should be plenty of damage out there for the Nidalee. Jumping around, feeling pretty good. W start makes sense. We'll see what kind of leash Kaden can get. Froggen looks like he's going to be playing for zoning and harassment, but now his Q's on cooldown for the Raptor spawn. And Ryu takes plenty of damage. You can't feel too bad about that one. And here we can see...
Oh, they're double leashing
the new meta. Yep, the double leash. Plenty of damage here into this one as Mike Young hopes to finish down the Raptor camp. And right now you'd want to leave to get back to lane. So this means Phoenix1 will be late to getting some CS. And look at this. Yeah, Keith wants to zone them out. Gate the same. And it's not going to be too bad, though. Only missing XP on 1.
Nothing.
No, one of the Reds is already dead. Yeah.
Just one.
But yeah, that's really not terrible. Especially considering that Echofox didn't leash at all. You feel like they might have wanted to walk into that wave and force it to focus fire by stepping in and jumping into the brush. But that wasn't done there by Gate, so no gains. Knockup gonna land.
Does have to crit, though.
And plenty of damage going back on it as well. But the Courage to Colossus shield makes it not too bad.
They will hit level 2 a little bit sooner. They got there and missed one, just like you said, on the P1 side. But Mike Young, this is a very fast jungle clear. He's about to hit level 4 at 2 minutes, and we'll track it here. He actually goes over. 250. 250. Ugh. That is such a fast jungle clear. Like, his top laner's level 2, about to hit level 3 off of a few more creeps here, and he's going to go for a level 4 gank on this Rumble here. Zig doesn't have the full... He just wants the level so he can get sliced. And look at that, but no, he's going to go for the flash.
Oh, the Javelin goes far! Looper like a little bit more damage, gets away with it, but he was stunned and Mike Young threw it too far away. Oh, you can do wrong, it turns out. That kill was destined to go Phoenix1's way, but it was turned aside.
Oh, that was... I feel like he thought that the stun wasn't going to be as long, because it was an empowered one, and that he would have walked forward a little, but it's still, you just click right on him, and ends up not going.
Well, unlucky there. Looper has to burn his TP to get back to lane, and Zig doesn't really need to burn much to stay in for this one. So
Did burn flash for Looper still having his up, though.
that's true.
Does force the back, like you said.
No crit coming through for Arrow, though. Didn't quite get the range to attack Keith. Shields come through for Gate, and we have a pretty normal standstill in the bot lane. +1 farm lead for Keith, not the biggest.
Mike Young going to be on the bottom side of the map now for a little bit because his camps will be coming up. He'll clear this. And then because he went back to his Raptors a little bit later, it's actually not going to be up for quite a while here. So see if he looks for a gank in that small window. I would say he has about 30 seconds here before a camp really comes up.
Let's see, can they get the knock up on the Ryu? Acadian waiting in the wings. Whether he's hoping for Nidalee to come by or he's hoping for Froggen to make something happen. Ryu has guessed incorrect. The knockback is there. Flashes in time. Acadian didn't want to burn that flash for a closer Q, but it's still a burn flash away from Ryu. Lane lead to the mid lane.
Acadian did a much more common jungle route that's coming out now for things like Rek'Sai and Lee Sin, where you start Raptors, go red, kill Krugs, back, it's level 3, and then you buy a longsword, and then you can run straight down and do your bottom side jungle into a gank. And if you run into anybody, you'll be level 4, and you'll have a longsword over them. So it's actually quite a good route if you ever plan to fight anybody.
Didn't find anyone to fight just yet, but he is back on the map, taking a second round of Raptors, level 5 for him. So Acadian's actually managed to get the level lead over Mike Young.
Yeah, it's because of the Raptors that Mike Young did later, so they're actually going to come up at a much later time, so he didn't kill the big one first.
Oh, I didn't notice that after it. Okay. That makes sense, though. As he's looping back around. Level 5 now on both these. Acadian running away. Trading Trinket Wards, and they're going to be fine on this one. Looper does have the flash lead in the top side, and Zig just now TP'd back in. But just for Ruby Crystal Longsword, not a huge pickup right there for the Renekton. Gromp going to leash back, and Acadian just preventing Mike Young from farming anything. The only camp up for this Lee Sin is his Krugs. The only thing up for Mike Young is this Gromp, and looking for the play right now as Rumble roams down. Smite fight! Mike Young doesn't have one, so it shouldn't go away from Acadian. He's going to land that one. Nicely done. Safeguards away.
He was a ward the whole time, but they're going on Acadian.
And it's a lot of damage. They're going to get this kill. He's forced to flash, and who's even there to follow? Mike Young zoned out by Looper. No first blood lost, but was it really worth the risk? Looper himself going to lose his flash. You have to expect. Zigga has his stun available. Lands the kill, and he stops it. He pulls a Dyrus, and down he goes. First blood to Mike Young.
But Looper there for him. Ooh. Yeah, he had time to do that too. He was just thinking that it was gonna.
So panicked.
And the other part is, if he doesn't flash there, he's hit by the spear. If he does flash, he may still eat the spear. It was before he could reach the wall. And Mike Young maybe flash chases. So there's a possibility that Mike Young gets that kill anyway. So have to look at it a little closer here. But yeah, this was great from Acadian to get in and out, eats the stun there, but then they overstay a bit. Mid doesn't have priority, and then Acadian takes so much damage, and Looper can't get the kill onto Mike Young there and starts running away. We'll see it one more time here. The spear comes out. Yeah, the spear connects before he's in range to flash.
He was close.
So yeah, he may have been able to chase anyway because Mike Young still had flash, but it would have been a flash for flash. It's not my proudest kill.
But you'll take it anyway. The revenge is in. 700 gold through Phoenix1. Gate. The Glacial Blast to the face is going to be okay with this one. Mike Young, level 6 in the Nidalee. He clears away that bottom side of the jungle 7 minutes into the game. We'll see what can come up next for these players. Gate puts the ward down, but a little bit too late. He knows that buff is gone. Those are two of my very favorite ward spots, by the way. If you have some control over bot lane, you ward by the red, you ward by the Raptors. You can track the opposing junglers very, very well on the bot side. You can even track the mid laner based on the positioning there. You don't put it all the way in the camp. You make sure you can watch the mid laner come down or the Raptor move. And so it's some pretty good safety there for Gate, unpunished by the deep play. And Mike Young leashed the blue away before Acadian could land a skill shot. So farming well. And he's actually going to get his own blue. Doesn't give it over to Ryu.
He has a tier as well. Probably just assumes that there isn't much pressure in that lane. And he's super low, so why not? I feel like the great debate of who gets second blue.
Nidalee.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of junglers want to have that second blue. Like, it's the conversation I have with Meteos every single time he's on like an analyst desk or something, and we're just chilling. Like, second blue should be junglers. Helps you with your second clear.
Yeah.
Allows you to stay out there.
It's fine.
Exactly. Right?
Dr. Mundo? Yeah. Those cleavers.
Exactly. But like, that's why Rek'Sai was one of those things that people really liked as mid laners. They're like, give me first blue and second blue, and just keep giving it over. But I like that they gave it over to the Nidalee, not just because I'm a jungler, but because I think it's very effective for him, because Ryu is full mana and has ways to get it back, whereas Mike Young was kind of running out there and would have had to back otherwise.
Sure. Needs to stay on the map when Nidalee's core strength is her efficiency and incredibly high uptime. Don't get a chance done just yet. Nice chunk right there on the arrow. We feel back in the wings there, but not a lot of sticking damage. Let's see what comes in next for these two players. So here comes the engage. Works special, but of course able to rocket ship away pretty easily. Gate didn't have the knock-up on him or any damage at all, so there's no route to come out for arrow, and out they go.
Expecting to maybe get something there, but it's hard to get something out of them like a flash.
It is almost impossible for Braum Jin to force a kill on Tristana. There is you can't, you have to somehow ult the rocket jump, which to be fair is doable, but it's your only window at all to prevent that.
Even if you jump on Rakan, she jumps away, Rakan jumps to her.
Right.
Exactly.
He jumps to her, yeah.
Yes.
Tristana, yep. And out they go. Mike Young looking for an invade now on this blue buff, though. Really high pressure, high priority. Level 7 here, looking for the blue steal. You know, you mentioned mid laners love junglers who give them first blue. How about giving them the enemy blue? Or Mike Young gets both.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the mid laners giving it over. I feel like that's the other jungler. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the bottom side, they lost a little bit of control. Mountain Drake on the table, and I feel like Phoenix1, it's a great composition to have a Mountain Drake, because we talked about 4-1. The Renekton will do more damage to it, and Cassiopeia and Jhin damage to a Baron can get pretty disgusting.
Yeah, the Baron rushes are definitely a stake in here to get Mountain Drake stacked up. Phoenix1 so far have the early game lead, and now as we talk about now in the middle of the split, which team can fix their issues, who can improve? Phoenix1 with the roster will certainly have. A lot of the rationale behind the changes was who can be a role player, who can be a carry, who can do what needs to be done for the team right now. Mike Young seemingly fitting in better than an Ori, in the words of the owner. And so far, this improvement has been shown.
And there was actually that little clip that we were showing with voice comms during the break, or like right after, before the break. Yeah, where Mike Young was incredibly vocal, very clear voice in the team communication during a team fight. That's something that you almost never see in a rookie, is very calm and clear calls where you know exactly what's going on and there isn't superfluous information being like thrown back and forth.
Yeah, it's not LeBlanc, LeBlanc.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go LeBlanc. Focus that guy. I'm healing you. And like, that's great calm. That is exactly what you want out of a player. And I just agree with you. Really good stuff out of Mike Young so far. Has been looking good. And now Echo Fox showing some signs of difference, though. They've swapped their lanes to the other side of the map. They were first to go for it, looking for the Rift Herald, but now getting pushed away.
Now, similar timings here, where they're actually just rotating to the other side of the map on both sides.
But this time, they're both giving away the chance at the Drake. In last game, it was Phoenix1 who went for the Infernal, grabbed it, then swapped back. This time, it's both teams staying near Rift Herald, which makes sense. I like that as a metagame call. Rift Herald's important, certainly. But again, it's both teams thinking they have equal claim to the objective. Not willing to trade down, in air quotes, for a Mountain Drake. Root doesn't quite land on a gate. He walks away. Jukes the Javelin. Suave as ever. Out they go. So 900 gold difference. And again, a somewhat slow, meandering early game. Very farm-based on the early side.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised that the Tristana has not been able to shove in as effectively as she used to and be able to pick up some damage on a turret, because that bottom turret for P1 is actually still very healthy.
A lot of it's that Rakan's, I think, a weaker laner than Braum is. Braum can threaten you pretty consistently, and he can prevent you from trading off into the marksman afterwards. And you don't really have that same thing out of Rakan quite the same way. The damage spec isn't there. And I feel like, generally speaking, the matchup should feel pressured if you're Echo Fox in the 2-1-2. And sometimes that means you're just not able to go for the pushes as well.
Yeah, Rakan's a little bit more defensive during the laning phase, kind of plays back. You can go for plays every now and then, but the variance is very, it's a pretty wide variance.
Also, arrow. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off.
I'll go for it. Go for it.
Also, arrow with the Doran shield is like very hard to push out as well. So that once in a while poke you get out of the Tristana doesn't line up.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more Doran's blades after the Doran shield nerf. Yeah. Just the 50 gold cost, where you can't bring another health potion in. I feel like that nerf is good, but we're still going to see Doran's shield be very big in the bottom lane. I think it's a viable item, and then, maybe on average it's slightly stronger than the Doran's blade, but Blade's more damage, his life's on a team fight. It scales better. Of course it does, yeah, absolutely. Here we go, though. They dive onto the bot lane turret, and Zig looking for the 2v1, and Looper's got nowhere to go this time. Not much you could have done about it. He did burn Flash, but the Flash meant nothing. No summon was lost by Phoenix1. One more kill on the bot side, and that turret's going to be under fire. Yep, Zig able to tank the turret the whole time. Mike Young didn't miss the spear that time. Woo! Oh, redeems himself, but now this is a race against the Tristana damage on the top side to that turret.
Seems Keith favored. He goes in, auto attack's coming across, and 2 more hits would have killed it, but
yeah,
he's got to, again, respect what the special could do to him. With Gate in, though, they can go for this. And again, the team should be calling how much threat that bot lane turret is under. At a certain point, you're almost willing to give up a kill to secure first turret gold.
It's very close. Yeah, Zig is going to get it here in just a second. Acadian's coming up to try and secure.
Tight timing. Zig's on.
They're rushing it.
Here comes the damage up, but they can't knock it down. First turret gold, the 700 gold swing goes the way of Zig. That gank worked off, and they were 4 seconds away. You have to believe something could have been done differently.
And you could see special there. This is what I really like about watching him when he has a hyper carry type player on his team. Just somebody who's a very good AD carry because he's willing to protect things with his life. He jumped up, put up the Braum shield so they couldn't hit the turret anymore, and it looked like he got chunked out very heavily, but he was still going to stand around and make sure that they got that first turret gold, even if it may have cost him his life.
Yeah, I have to imagine Keith could have just ulted Braum away at some point when he put the satchel charge down. With Braum ulted out, you're not getting re-engaged by the ulti in there. You can get the 2 other autos and you knock that turret down. So I think mechanically things Echofox could have done better. Maybe that's Blooper not making the call. I don't know what, but certainly things could have been changed and first turret gold could have gone differently. Either way, though, it is the gold lead. It's now 1,700 Phoenix1.
Also, when Mike Young goes and ganks bottom, your jungler should immediately go top. Acadian should have been on the top side knowing there's an uncounterable 3-man play to make on the top side and would have been able to force down that turret earlier. Yeah,
maybe Froggen roams as well. It's not like Taliyah doesn't have wave clear, right? You go for the 4-man play pretty easily enough, and Luber can threaten TP afterwards, but not the situation we are in, and the dual lane swaps back down. Looks like Echofox trying to use Keith as that wrecking ball to knock down some turrets to get some pressure, going to be to that play first. As they put him down to the bot side of the map, and Arrow not close by to this one. Waited around for a bit more gold, now walking to the lane. He should get at least 1 full charge satchel off on the turret, but it's first going to be the play towards his Mountain Drake.
Yeah, which also helps this comp with the Tristana, but that's pretty much the most that you get out of it is enhancing that Tristana damage a bit.
It's going to be an uncontested Drake, so the first turret gold was lost, but 700 gold aside is going to be Echofox getting the first Drake of the game. It's going to be Mountain. Certainly not as powerful as the Inferno was from the previous game, although the priorities change when you know what Drake it is. Now a nice root there, good shot by Arrow, flash out from Froggen. Ghost goes back and forth, 1 more shot, he's gonna get away from all 4 of them. Nicely played by Froggen, but it is 2 summoners down.
Yeah, 2 summoner spells to make sure you don't die to an ultimate. Well, it depends, because I don't think that's gonna be worth here if they do come back and get a kill on him. Keith though,
kicked over the wall, nice block in there, and Arrow's got nowhere to go. The Keith just put him out of range. That will be a turret going down, so Echofox now playing a bit more around. Keith are starting to gain some leads. Looper looks like he is not willing to ult that top lane, waiting to keep the turret alive, so he will lose top lane outer as well. Zig off 2 ganks from Mike Young, now smashing this lane.
Yeah, and think about Zig in the last game too, was able to get first turret by himself on Kled, got the other side lane turret as well, and that's really great to see from Phoenix1 because this was almost something they almost never did. Hold on, looking up.
Charm, double knock, up the knockback there as well from Froggen. How good's the burst going to be? A lot of tanks net through from Special, blocks a lot of it, and Ryu going to run away. Someone heals, keeps him alive. The dive back into Mike Young gets his 3rd kill in a row. Now Acadian, chunked low, 1 more javelin, going to look for the shot, not going to land, but can he get the chase? The rest of Echofox forced to run away. A nice stun going to land on the front liners. There's the equalizer to buy some time. Froggen trying to kite back, gets away with it, and Zig is going to fall. 1 for, I guess, 2. 1 for 1. Either way, they're getting away from this one now as the rest of the team staying just barely alive. Echofox making it a decent trade.
Get one back, and right now it's just everybody resetting. They're like, everybody's got kind of chunked out from that fight. Time to back off, take a breath. But yeah, Ryu, they go after him with Gate using his flash here to engage and try to get in there to try to pick him up. Dodges the Petrifying Gaze, so does Acadian and Froggen. And they aren't able to pick up Ryu. It's a split focus there. You can see the satchel onto his special, whereas that may have been enough there to kill Ryu. He may have just blocked it. And then was able to pick it up himself.
All the Unbreakable at work right there. Takes so much damage, and then the chase down Zig just slightly over-aggressive. That equalizer actually clutched as well.
That was really good.
Crushed all game, but that equalizer guaranteed there was no follow-through.
Yeah, at the very tail end of that, Keith had his ultimate for a very long time. It's like, why isn't he ulting the Renekton away? It's because there's that equalizer that's keeping the Renekton in, and he would have just helped him instead. He almost kills Froggen, but make sure that they get the Renekton kill.
As a much worse player than Keith, I have saved so many players with bad Tristana ults.
Everybody has.
Yeah. I'm sure Keith has too, but he's certainly doing it pretty well in this game. Good farm, good turret kills, playing pretty well for himself. Arrow this time not quite as impactful. Yeah. It's been Mike Young and Zig doing most of the hard work here in this one.
Down 30 CS right now for for Arrow. Of course, that's kind of natural with the Pristana getting the push on. Yeah, making things go into the turret and picking up. But right now, trying to split the map a bit here. Echo Fox still down, but they have that Mountain Drake.
We'll see as time goes on. Next break will be Oceans, all non-combat, sort of siege-focused ones.
Yeah.
Which can be useful. I mean, sieges matter. Sieges determine games sometimes. It's just not the team fight power in front of it, quite obviously. That Phoenix1 was able to use pretty successfully.
Looks like mid-focus here from Echo Fox. Want to be able to knock down this turret. Already a bit below half HP, so they'll be able to throw on a satchel charge and maybe do enough here.
Big, especially going to launch forward. There we go, chunks that one. Satchel lands, nice root. The Rose blows up as well, and Gate forced to walk back off of this regeneration. Not a lot of pressure really gets done. Braum is so good at preventing sieges. You pull aggro if you attack him, even if the shield blocks the damage. So you can't keep hitting him and push him away, because the turtle will hit you back.
Yeah. I think that's like one of the most annoying things that a Braum can do. The first most annoying is he can stand in front of a ward that you're sweeping, and you can't auto-attack it as a ranged champion. Hold on.
This, though, especially now cut off with the wall, but the root's going to land. This could be Gate's days being numbered. They're all grouped up. And a big Braum ulti starts it off. A nice kickback to buy a bit more time, but now the chase is on to Looper. Running out of health, thankfully drops out the passive. He's been shut down, and Ryu gets the kill with the ulti. Petrifying Gaze picks it up. 1-0 Phoenix1.
And Looper put down an ultimate so that they couldn't chase him around the corner, but he dies before anybody even wants to chase him. So that ends up being a kill over for Phoenix1. And now mid lane Siege is going to start going the other way.
Not that much to be gained, though, right now. It's going to be splitting the team back up, and Ryu actually wants to split off in the wing. Give himself a bit of alone time. Yeah.
Froggen is beating him a bit there in the CS department, but able to even it back up. And has a Rod of Ages and Tier. So we're looking at 2 Rod of Ages, a Tier over on Phoenix1 side. So they're just going to get a little bit stronger over time off of those. And I feel like their composition, just from a split push perspective, a little bit better. And their team fight could be very deadly. Both these teams, depends on who lands those abilities, especially Seismic Shove. Seismic Shove is such a game-changing ability.
We'll see if those plays can happen, but it's really been special doing so well to tank up and keep those teammates alive. He's been doing very well for himself, and it's been a team game so far for Phoenix1.
That's a crazy acquisition as well for him, because we're seeing a lot of trades that have happened kind of in the NALCS, where it's like Dardoch for Smithy, and then they both had kind of okay splits in spring. Like Smithy was like very high in deaths, like second in deaths in the entire league. Dardoch had most player of the games, but wasn't transitioning. You swap them, now the teams are both near the top of the standings, and we just got to see them play. And it's like both teams came out on top. But then you see a team that picks up Big. Dignitas picks up Big as the support. You're like, okay, is he an upgrade over Xpecial? But it's not necessarily they're an upgrade in terms of play. It's just stylistically who they're playing with. Dignitas needed a playmaker like Big, who's constantly making plays because they have a passivating carry like Lodge, and then they have Someday on the top side of the map, right? They need other people to start doing things because Keen is also not going to create too much action. But Phoenix1 pick up Xpecial, who's more about protecting people. He can protect these carries like Arrow and Ryu, where they now have somebody like Mike Young who can start making some action happen alongside Zig, who's becoming a little bit more aggressive in his play from what we've seen. But I like the protection factor on Arrow.
Sure. Even though he is playing something a bit more backline, like Jin, Xpecial is able to protect everybody. Ryu's gotten a bit better in this one as well, as mid lane is under fire once again. Echo Fox looking to make this push happen. This time Xpecial bit zoned out. The Ocean Drake going to be picked up, pretty much uncontested there as Mike Young grabs that.
Yep.
Both remains 1800. Ocean Drake now in the wings.
And I always think it's important to look at people's specialties as well, because you think about Shady came in, and it's like you look at his solo queue, Brand, Vel'Koz, all these mages, Karma, range supports, Lulu. That's not really the meta right now, and that's not what Arrow kind of needs as this MVP player. He needs somebody who's going to protect him when there's so many things in the meta that can reach you, like Jarvan, Galio, all these guys who want to dive. So keeping him protected is very important. It's not always like a better player situation.
What's interesting as well is we still do see the occasional Karma and Lulu and whatnot in professional play. Like, they haven't disappeared. It's just what do teams think is the best for them now. Even if they are, you know, as Kobe put it when talking about Italy, a viable champion, you can play it. It's what styles do the teams actually want to play in. And heck, what kind of champions do really suit the players? It looks like they want to play tank. Xpecial splitting that pretty nicely. A big chunk going to keep those. Got to kite back. And again, Xpecial keeping not only his champions, but his turrets alive as well. Satchel's going to land. One more shot will do it. That turret's going to go down to the mid lane. Here comes the engagement. Another javelin lands. Keith's going to kite back. Gate's going to be low on HP. Here comes the big stun to the front line, but nice little bit of time bought by Gate. No kills just yet. Out they go, but Keith is out both the summoners.
And it looked like they were trying to peel Zig very heavily there. Keith blew his summoners, and then Gate also blowing his ultimate there. Acadian went for a kickback too, so huge disengage to get that turret. Is it just going to be a turret returned in mid to kind of just accelerate the pace? I don't think so.
4 turrets down, or sorry, 4 summoners down for one. I misspeak as Zig did flash in otherwise, but and nothing down in the mid lane just yet. Echo Fox getting the turrets a bit closer, but still suffering a 2,000 gold deficit right now. Off the kills and the farm difference, the top lane lead is pretty big.
Yeah.
Zig going for a very aggressive build to its Cleaver into almost a finished Ruin King, into also getting what I assume is a Titanic Hydra. Maybe it's Frozen Mallet, but those are the only 2 drawers in this item. Well, that and Sterix, but that would be a longsword. So Zig's going to have 3 offensive items here.
Surprised he didn't finish the Blade of the Ruin King, but I think he got to the point where he was saying, okay, I'm team fighting a little bit more now, so I need that durability. And it looks like it might be that Titanic Hydra like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's trying to get on Looper with a Frozen Mallet, slow him down, make sure he can't get away. Could be a nightmare.
Yeah, who knows? All kinds of options. Either way, yeah. Just needed the Cleaver or the Cutlass for the slow, it feels like, and he's going to be fine from here. Items still pushing forward here for Mike Young. Once again, a Rod of Ages, Sork Shoes into his Zonya's Hourglass. Banshee's Veil online for Ryu. Next up, probably going to be the Seraph's Embrace. A lot of damage coming through for Ryu pretty quickly.
Yeah, you were right, by the way. Gate has level 2 ultimate already, and level 10.
There you go.
Point.
Good brain.
Good brain. I think the first person I ever heard say that was Kobe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually thought it was an Azael thing, but you're right. Kobe said a lot.
It might have been Azael as well.
Either way.
I mix them up all the time. There's only one person on the dive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all the same people. Lock it done for a special, ready to protect his teammates. Still no upgrade of boots, but doesn't need them. Who even cares anyway? We'll see what comes in next. Gold lead still saying 1,700 different. Phoenix1 back in the mid lane. Echo Fox just, they're A-remming back and forth. Zig pushes the bot lane in, makes Sleeper walk over, then he goes back to his team.
Yeah, you
one by one, they're pushing lanes in.
Yeah, you kind of end up in this situation where you go back and forth until a Drake spawns, and then if somebody has like the wave on your side of the map, you have to push it back out before you can contest. So just weaving back and forth, spending gold on control wards, clearing out control wards when you have people en route. With the Tristana, though, you should be able to push a little bit, but you don't have the wards to support it on the sides. I like the static shift buy as well. Huge amount of wave clear from the Tristana. It's so hard to actually get a wave to the turret now.
Yeah, the wave clear is insane, and it's even burst damage in a team fight as well. It is, I think, easily the best single target damage of the Zeal upgrades.
Oh, he used the seismic shove.
Folds in. Yeah, Froggen's going to have to go sway slowed down by the Cutlass. There's the giant stun. Look at the damage output there on a Froggen. Heading back now himself, the Go's going to stay on. He's going to be okay for now, but he's on the wrong side of this map. He can get away. Meanwhile, Equalize the front lines. They've picked off Aaron. You can't shield that kind of damage. Here's the rocket jump, the kick flash in, 2 for 0 in the mid lane, and Keith gets one of them.
Yep. Looper with the ultimate right on top of Arrow, and especially can't keep him safe from that one, and then they're going to shove in this mid wave. Cassiopeia was topside. Mike Young was there as well.
And there is no one around. 2 turrets picked up so far, and the snowball can certainly continue. Froggen gonna get the safe recall. This wave gonna be cleared pretty easily.
Go for another.
Fox, 600 gold up. There's late recalls from the rest of the team. They have to be a bit careful because there are only 4. Froggen did recall back. This turret is gone. There was no rush of Arrow. They could see where the respawn timers were coming in. All 3 turrets down in the mid lane off of 1 big play.
Yep, you can see up 1,300, 1,400 gold now for Echo Fox. That Mountain Drake helping them a lot there in that push too. Just got them more tempo. But now reset. There's a Mountain Drake coming up in 50 seconds, and they're going to want to play for that.
Huge stuff out of Gate. Looper followed through, but I have to imagine that was jumping in with the quickness. And, well, Phoenix1 were downed with the quickness, and it went well. 3 kills for Echo Fox. Those 2 turn into 3 turrets. I think he continues to play this.
Waiting for a response there.
No, you were drinking water. You were fine.
Oh.
I just was trying to find my next sentence is all.
What is this? Yep, this goes in.
Oh,
Grand entrance. Yeah, ultimate on top of it. They just get obliterated. They're looking for a ward there in that side rush. They both walk over there, and then Gate, man, good play there. I mean, he's been making a ton of plays this whole split. He's been a big playmaker for Echo Fox. It's kind of been, they play around Froggen. Caden will get some early pressure, but Gates have those very impactful mid-late game plays. Meta suits him a little bit better too for that.
Certainly does. He likes to become the champion. Let's see what he can do with next. Says the shot not going to land. Keith has gone for the Team Fuddiest build possible. Shiv and Hurricane are the best anti-champion items you can buy in that slot. So he is going to have the highest damage build possible. We'll see if he can make that one happen here in this one. Puts the mark on, not going to get rooted up.
Wall.
Gonna put the wall down.
Oh, they're trapped.
Gonna force flash. Like Young jumps in, Specialist has nowhere to go. Poor Braum cut out by an ice wall, finally able to jump across and stays alive. The significant health damage done, and now here comes the play for Baron.
That's a value wall, though, because you get arrows flash out of that. You force a lot of people to just ditch mid lane priority, and now Echo Fox, see, like we talked about, they can reestablish it if they can play around it as they're trying to go for an objective.
Oh, the first special kick him in. There's a kill to take at the first beginning, but they're going to trade lives with Acadian, who did burn his ward hop to make it happen. I don't know if you really like that trade. Good counter engage there by Phoenix1.
Yeah, I hate that trade, because now you can't go for Baron at all. So Echo Fox, there's no bluff from them standing around the Baron. They have to go for a fight here.
I've seen this before. Echo Fox on the outside of their own mid lane, the other team getting to push their base. While they wait in the wings, mid lane outer falls the result. It was a nice attempt, but it certainly did backfire.
Yeah, Mountain Drake is up too, so you're going to give this over to the Cassiopeia. Wow, double
Drakes for Phoenix1. One mountain apiece, but the Ocean going to add in for them. Mike Young with solo, which shouldn't be a problem for him. Every challenger player I know can solo a Drake, so well picked up there by Mike Young with the mechanics, and they're going to wait. Look for a bait right here. Echo Fox knows it's darkness. They really have played this half the Baron dance well. So what can Ryu find to do? A lot of patience. They could have broken this down. Now they're going to try. Javelin's going to land. Here comes the quickness, though. Here's the dive, and Mike going to pop the Zonias. Now, can he get away, though, is the question. More damage to be had. He might burn down the lock.
Went in.
Save Nick Special. Finding more ways to shield his teammates than one. And out goes the jungle's going to stay alive a little bit longer. He's going to force to heal or recall or something. But that Baron bait only forces the flash.
And they end up pushing him back really far. But yeah, they force a flash, but they use Gates, Flash, and Ignite for that as well.
Not really a gain to be had. The gold lead, though, still stays with Echo Fox at 500. It is negligible. It means basically nothing.
Oh, Zig also teleported in there. So lack of a TP advantage now for Phoenix1 on that split pusher that they've been trying to leverage, and who got those really early kind of kills and assists on the Looper, who was down. Looper's 3 deaths happened very early on in the game.
Yep. And that TP was completed, went on the full 300-second cooldown, so it wasn't like he started and canceled and it was hit and he showed up. And now the wave continues and Keith knocks down minions. Being gutted much of the farm, which I think is correct for Justana.
And now without that teleport, Looper can threaten the side lane, and I feel like this is what Echo Fox will try to do, is threaten side lane when they have Renekton kind of off the map. You can teleport, and then you can use Froggen's wall to just section off turrets, but I feel like they're playing around mid, even though they have no turrets there right now. So Echo Fox kind of want to wait for that open mid situation and run straight down and get an inhibitor, but it's much easier to play around Baron and top, where that turret is kind of close to going down. It's almost half HP on that tier 2 on the top side. Play around the objective.
Going to be. They're playing around it for sure. Quick Knight's Vow coming in for Acadian. Last game in this spot, he went for a Guardian Angel. This time, the more defensive build. Knight's Vow keeping Keith alive. It really is putting a lot of the eggs in his basket. Redemption picked up first item for Gate. I say first item. It's his first non-strictly support gold generation Sightstone item. It is much less powerful in 7.12. He has no other healing amp on the kit.
Yep, does have a bit of movement speed, though, from the Talisman of Ascension, so he can get in with his ultimate. Also makes your W faster. And then the Ruby Sightstone is great to reduce the cooldown of those 2 other actives.
Certainly valuable in that regard. Just interesting to see him go for that and not give the Zeke conversion from the previous game. Now look at this attempt right now. 9,000 health left on Baron, pushing down about 500 damage per second to this one.
Jungler's on this side, though.
Like Young can get there. Here comes the curtain call. They're going to find damage on the Gate. He's not the tankiest. They're looking for the smite potentially. As Froggen and Keith kite back and forth, 4 shotguns.
Into his hand.
Kill, and the jungler's dead. It's just easy now for him. Phoenix1 gonna pick it up, smite it away, and this could have been the throw right now. A second kill comes in, and there's no one left standing. Their auto's running tail between their legs. Trying to get away from this one, a quick 2 for 0, plus the Baron. Phoenix1 getting by far the better of that fight.
Yeah, Echo Fox looked like that was a little bit of the sunk cost there, where they said, we already started it, we might as well try to finish it. And then Mike Young walks up there like, wait, he's on this side of the wall. And then they kept kind of skirting around it. Acadian in the back. Hold on, another dive.
Oh, they're going to push him away. Gate might just live. The javelin lands. Will he go for it? He's not going to just yet.
He's going to keep going.
Oh, he is going to. He finds the first kill. Looking for the second. Lands the auto attack and a double kill for the rookie. 9-4 in kills. Phoenix1 open to close it out right now. Looper's got nowhere to go. Pops the Zonias, but he's going to die for this one. Gold is what it's going to turn into in more ways than one. 300 picked up once again for Mike Young in this fight.
Acadian. Oh, I don't think that's going to kill, though.
No, he might fall away though himself, or flash away. He respawned after dying in front of Baron. Middle inhibitor will certainly fall. 5,000 the gold lead for Phoenix1. Mid inhibitor dead, looking for more.
Yeah, they have the Baron buff, and they have the ability to push here. Arrow does a decent amount. They're going to try to go for it here. 25 seconds on Looper. That's 2 turrets. Zig, super low.
One more to fall. Zig's staying alive. The ult is going to land. They get right down. He is, and Froggen is dead. Just the 1 turret remaining. Here comes the quickness. Lands the double knockup. Lands the forfeiting attack. I don't know what that was, but they're going to look for a little bit more. 2 kills picked up as I get tongue twisted. Acadian forced to run away for dear life, but does stay. Ooh, just barely alive. That nearly shut him down, but he's on the fountain now. He's going to be okay. Echo Fox lived to fight another day, but just by the skin of their teeth.
That was so explosive. They had all these turrets up. The second, or that tier 2, and right here, this wall, they go, oh, wait, he's on this side of it. Some of them are still doing damage, and Acadian's on the backside now. They leave him, and that miasma was great for zoning, and then he goes right into Zig. He's not looking before he's leaping right into the crocodile's mouth, and then that's an easy smite pickup there for Mike Young, and they pick up the remaining guys afterwards. Just a huge trail off there. That was a mixed call, and Kobe was talking about it, where the coordination from Echo Fox has been looking a little off. Their team fights has been very off, but that Baron call right there was one that was completely off.
Absolutely agree on that one. It continues the train. In the last game, we talked about Phoenix1 with the roster changes and finding players that synergize. It's an upgrade, and they're getting back to form now at this point, and they're playing back to their level. For Echo Fox, the question is, can they learn how to shot call in the mid to late game? And that answer, week in and week out, has still been no. And against this Phoenix1 squad, who actually have good early games, Echo Fox no longer have the early game advantage either.
Yeah, they did have a bit of an early game advantage, but it's not enough for them to really kind of coast on that. And they have some tools, too, to help them do stuff like Baron. Like, they have the Weaver's Wall. They also have the Tristan to knock down turrets and get objectives. But even with those 2 things that should accelerate or, you know, kind of cover up those weaknesses of theirs and accelerate the pace of the game, they still kind of misuse them in these opportunities.
Oh, bad news bears. He's gone already. Killing streak for you.
Yep. TP to the other side, looking for a flank here from Zig.
And they're going to run right into a Renekton. Can they get the damage up on this one? Keith's going to have to rocket jump away. Doesn't get it in time. Finally jumps out this time. Will stay alive. Quick grounding onto this one, and suddenly he's going to go to his room. The fountain might just be the place for him, and Looper's going to go down. Zig gets the kill picked up. Some more kills in that top lane. You can miss a javelin once, but at the rest of this game, they're going to keep killing him off. Now a 3v5, and this one turret stands between Phoenix1 and their first match win of the split, hoping this is the lineup that leads to redemption. They don't even need to buy into this one, and the turret is fallen. The Nex is now next up by V3. Can the re-engage come through? Acadian looking for the damage, looking for the kills. It's Keith on the wing, but he's getting kited back by Rio, and that's the game. Fidget spinners for everyone. Phoenix1 gets the win.
Phoenix1 go from 0-6 to 1-6 and pick up their first match win of the split. And you can see it's relief for the team.
Relief and happiness and a big hug all around. The rookie Mike Young, 18 years old, fresh out of solo queue.
Fresh out of high school.
Fresh out of high school as well. We've seen some of those players like that. Pobelter, Altec. Plenty of successful players have been out there coming out of high school and making their splash with the LCS. For Echo Fox, sadly, it is a slide now. Before the thought was, is it the even week, odd week curse? Then as we saw with their loss to Team Dignitas, it's not just that. They've lost now 2 in a row. And they lost to a winless team. Now, I don't think Phoenix1 will, even discounting this game, remain even further a winless team. This certainly seems like an upgraded roster. This is a decent squad. Phoenix1 will now try to begin the climb. The best they can do is 12-6. I don't think they quite match that, but we'll see if they can move upwards and make the playoffs.
Exactly. I completely agree, though. Phoenix1 look a lot better than their record indicates. Like I had called at the end of it, a sigh of relief for the team, because there had been swaps back and forth. What's going to work? What's not going to work? Spring plagued them a little bit with those decisions. Now it seems like this is working for the team on stage. It's getting the results that they weren't getting in weeks 1 and 2. And so now Phoenix1 fans are kind of like, okay, they're good. Now how good? We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here because they took down Echo Fox and they took 2 teams that were in the top of the standings last week with this roster 2-3 games apiece. So this Phoenix1 team, we know maybe they aren't in top form to get to like, number 1 or 2 spot, but are they once again like in a 3rd place position?
Yeah, sure. And you keep in mind when they played against Team Dignitas, that was without a special, right? And then when they played against CLG, okay, well, that one you played with your full lineup. But that was your first match with the lineup. And they were splitting scrim time at that point. So you have to assume the growth continues for Phoenix1. And sure, Echo Fox are not the toughest of competition, but Echo Fox are in playoff contention right now, right? They were 3-3 at that point. They beat a playoff team. They 2-0'd a playoff team. They had comebacks against a playoff team. So, that's heartening in its own right. The fact that you went 3 games with a completely fresh roster is heartening. And you have to assume upgrades come in down the line. Phoenix1 will get better over time. Mike Young will learn more about pro play. He'll learn more than his Nidalee one trick, as Acadian called him. But again, the fact that they would rather give him comfort than the most common meta pick, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. It could be that he knows more than everyone else does, or it could mean that they're trying to protect him and give him comfort for now. And you have to see what that is down the line as picks and bans come through, what the exact lineup needs to be there for Phoenix1. But now, to hear more about that series, let's send it here to Jat and Phoenix1's rookie jungler.
Thank you very much, Freak. And yes, I'm here with, I got to say, top rookie of the split candidate, Mike Young, picking up your first win in the LCS. Tell me a little bit about that match and how it feels.
Well, coming into the match, I was really nervous because coming off of last split, I started having expectations from all the fans of P1. But beforehand, I wasn't as nervous because we came into the split with no expectations. I had no expectations myself, but now that I have more expectations, I just have to play a lot more, just have to work harder and just to meet the fans' expectations that way.
Yeah, well, first off, congratulations on the first win of the split. And that's interesting, right? You've been challenger since you're 13 years old. This is your 2nd week now in the LCS, and you're playing alongside players like Ryu and Arrow who have been doing it for years. How has it been interacting with those experienced veterans?
I actually really enjoy their personalities individually. Forget all the titles aside, they're really cool people. They love to laugh with me. We always hang out, and we just have a good time.
Great to hear. And also some of the LCS competition you're playing against. You just played Acadian today. He was a big rookie for us last split. What's it like playing against these people who have been playing on the LCS stage as junglers in your 2nd week?
I try to not look at the names too much in game. I specifically just uncheck the names so I can just play my own game, so I'm not intimidated by any top player, so I can just play like solo queue, play like scrims, and just perform my best.
Well, it's definitely been working so far. Picking up your first win with Phoenix1, you said you came into the split with no expectations. Where are the expectations now that you've been gelling a little bit with the team and picked up the first victory?
Our next expectation is to win the next match, which is Team Liquid on Sunday.
All right, 1 match at a time. Good to hear. Thank you very much, Mike Young. Congratulations once again on the win. And we're going to send it to the analyst desk to close out the day.
Thank you very much, Jack. Great to hear from Mike Young after his first victory and Phoenix1's first victory here of the summer split. And I also like kind of that measured optimism, looking towards just the next game as the expectation, not letting any of this, it's very easy to get swept up in all the niceties of being in the LCS and having made it onto this big stage. And for him, turning the nameplates off and just looking for the victories. And
going to the moon!
Kobe,
let's go!
Kobe's going to fidget spin his way to the moon.
Phoenix1, number 1!
All right, but hey, let's be real. A 2-0 victory for Phoenix1 here in the 2nd week with Mike Young and Special into the roster is going to look real great for them. And as Freak mentioned, it's against a middle-of-the-pack team. So, that's a very solid place to start from, and we'll see where their growth takes them from here. Freak also mentioned that this one was a little bit of a comeback, and in both games, there were opportunities for the game to go either direction, and they showed some kind of mental fortitude in being able to stick with it.
Yeah, there was definitely a scare here in the middle of this game, but they brought it back around that Baron, right? Able to get the steal off, the damage onto Acadian first. So, crunch moments, basically, turned up for these guys.
This is that steal you're talking about here. Mike Young got one taken from him in game 1. He wasn't going to have it happen a second time, this time getting the better of Acadian.
Yeah, and this was Echo Fox, you know, kind of putting themselves into a bit of a corner here, and Arrow is nailing the Jin shots here at the exact time that Acadian jumps out right into Zig's waiting arms. So that makes this steal very, very simplistic for Mike Young as far as the execution of that, you know, and the pressure of the other smite isn't there. But as a team, you know, they're able to pull that one off, and that little dip of red you see there is the slight scare, but for the most part, the majority of this game, you felt like Phoenix1 were going to close this one out, and the fact that they just look better overall as a team inspires way more confidence than just pointing to, oh yeah, look, they added a new guy, and look, they added a special.
Right, yeah, I think it's very easy to look at individual performances or take a look at a gold lead that was developed in one game and say, oh, all their problems are fixed. You know, this is our first example of a full-fledged series in which they come out on top. But even within it, looking at these gold graphs, we can see the stumbles and the recoveries for the squad. And if anything, a lot of times I would say that would make me more optimistic as a young team or a young, newly formed roster, is that if I'm seeing a stumble and recover, I'm more confident than just, hey, hard smashing all the way through and not knowing how we might react to sometime taking a punch in the face.
Yeah, there's definitely still room for improvement. They are going to have a lot of, you know, reviews still left, but they can be very positive now. And that's kind of what happens when you drop that low and you literally have nowhere to go but up the standings. It's now going to be kind of a race for these guys to see how far they can climb, because once you start out that low, it's actually pretty hard to climb back deep into the playoffs. Basically, it's one series at a time, as Mike said, and then you start to think about, okay, are we close to that playoff line, and how much do we need to push to get in there? Yeah, now Mike Young will receive Player of the Game for this time around. Again, on that Nidalee, a very popular pick for him, but he's finding a way to make it work. 6-1-9 scoreline with 92% kill participation. I like it. And yes, again, it's becoming so common for people to give these power leashes from the bottom lane on red buff side, so getting off to a very early start. And yes, Nidalee does clear very quickly and can power farm, but you know, he got that early kill. He was 2 levels up on Acadian for a large stretch there of the middle of the game. And you have nothing to say but good things here about this guy as far as coming in as a rookie, performing, not showing any nerves as he talked about on stage, and kind of removing the mystique of playing against LCS players. Real briefly, I want to talk about Echo Fox, and as this team, you know, seems to continue with similar struggles that we've seen from them in the past, is that if they can't play through Froggen as a win condition, then they seem ultimately lost. And when I talk about using Froggen as a win condition, I mean, even here he had a 60+ CS lead and wasn't necessarily able to push it all the way to a victory. So it's looking more and more like it either has to be a landslide from the mid lane, or it's just not going to come together for this squad. And it keeps coming back to me, this coordination issue that I see for the team, whether they're going for team fights or they're even trying to pull off this split push strategy. Whatever it is, it does seem like there are a couple seconds or even fractions of a second that end up costing them slowly, objective after objective. You know, Keith was very big in this game, and they were coming back, you know, had a very strong play, but then opting into this Baron, and it really just kind of goes downhill from there. Right. Well, so then let me ask you this, and maybe this is way too broad of a question for the amount of time that we have here. And I'm ready. He's getting ready. No, but I guess at what point do you pull the ripcord and you say this team, right, this roster of 5 isn't going to work for Echo Fox? And again, I'm saying this at the beginning of week 4. They do have a roster of 10. But as it stands, this is the starting 5 that's, you know, played the majority of the games. And yet again, the majority of their wins are either coming through Froggen or nothing else. I don't think they're near any sort of, you know, lineup changes, or like they have to get rid of X player. They have to add whoever. Yeah, it is always nice to be able to, you know, upgrade or get stars, but I think that they should work on this roster, right? Including their other 5-man roster, which they talked about. They're scrimming you know, independently, and I was thinking, oh, they're going to come up with more of these, you know, kind of surprise strategies and stuff. So I would like to see them just kind of continue double down on that, basically. Not abort, no ripcord.
I mean, look, they're sitting at 3 and 4. It's not like this team is, you know, in the gutter.
Exactly.
They're very much in playoff position, as Freak had mentioned. It's just that this is a roster that's been around for a while a team like Phoenix1, it's like, well, yeah, they're sitting at 1 and 6 now, but this is the newest iteration of it, and so you want to give it time to kind of marinate. Either way, let's go ahead and pull up the standings to recap the day's games. Immortals stand tall in sole possession of first place, while Counterlogic Gaming are knocked down to third, just behind Team Dignitas sitting in that second place slot. Now, we'll be back tomorrow with more LCS action. Our coverage kicks off with Bjergsen and TSM versus High and FlyQuest on NALCS 1, followed by Cloud9 taking on Team Liquid later in the day. Over on NALCS 2, Counterlogic Gaming hit the Rift opposite Team Envy. Then Immortals look to maintain their hold of first place as they face Team Dignitas. Looking at these matchups tomorrow, what's the big one? I mean, Immortals Dignitas looks like a pretty exciting one to me.
Definitely. Really looking forward to that one, especially as far as we talked about a lot today, improvements that we've seen from Flame individually. Going up against Someday is my favorite top laner in the whole league right now, just watching some of the plays that he pulls off, so super excited.
Well, and as we know, Smithy doesn't go top lane very often, so we'll see how Flame deals
Or
with
will
that.
he?
Or will he completely shatter the pattern? Either way, ladies and gentlemen, for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more North American LCS. Good night.